Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning and good evening, wherever you are watching me from. It's my pleasure to be on this platform today and to discuss an important issue that borders on politics, and politics, precisely Nigerian politics. For my friends and followers out there watching me that are Nigerians and don't know what Nigeria is all about. Nigeria is one of the African countries, and currently there is an ongoing heat. With regard to a decision making, who is to become the next president of Nigeria. And there are so many aspirants, there are so many persons that have already submitted their form for the job of being the president of the nation. So there are so many persons that are applying. At the same time, Nigerians want to know the competency of those individuals that are applying for the job. So that is why I want to discuss, because sometimes I try to discuss this issue with some persons, my friends, and some of them do not like the idea of discussing politics. I say, oh, it's not as if, because back there in Nigeria, in Africa, some persons see politics as something evil. And that's for me because of the orientation we are being given, and maybe because of the knowledge we have about politicians. And some persons tend to shy away from what politics is all about. And that's why I just decided to make this video. So please, to you, my friends out there, what I expect you to do for me is, because we want this message to get across the country and to everyone listening to us. I earlier on discussed something with regard to how Europe underdeveloped Africa. I tried to debunk such assertion. But for the fact that we as African countries are still, trying to build themselves and gather themselves, there is this selfishness among Africans. So, and for me, that selfishness is what is setting Africans backward, and not really what Europeans did or what Europeans did not do. So we are not trying to discuss that, because I already debunked such assertion. So if you wish to watch that video where we discuss, because I engaged so many intellectuals, so many doctors and PhD holders, professors on that discussion. If you wish to see it and then follow the discussion, just go to YouTube. Go to YouTube, type Chukwu Augustine. Type Chukwu Augustine on Facebook. You see my face, you see this rough face. So once you see my face, you are there. Just check it, you see the caption, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Just watch it, make your comment, like, and equally share it. Now, but today, what I want to discuss today is politics. Politics, Nigerian politics precisely. Nigerian politics precisely. But then I wish to start with establishing what politics is all about. What politics is all about, and who are politicians, and what is a political party. We shall be having some guests here live to share their opinion. But before that, I wish to start with telling us what politics is all about. Let me try to bring some of our discussants here. So I wish to start with telling us what politics is all about, who is a politician, and what is a political party. And later on we make a conclusion and then try to see and try to match what is going on now currently in Nigeria, and see how it's affecting all the African countries and why Africa seems not to be progressing, so that we'll stop this blame game of Europe underdeveloped Africa. So with this, we can stop the blame game of Europe on the developed Africa. So if at all we will know this, I think there's no problem. I think there will be no problem. Sorry, I'm trying to bring one of the discussants live so that he will follow. All right. From my own perspective, my own point of view, politics from Greek word political or politicos, affairs of the cities. That is political from the Greek word, because politics actually started from Greek or Greece, so in Athens. So now it is the set of activities that are associated with decision making. So one thing you should know about politics is that it has to do with decision making in groups or other forms of power relations. And of course, you know, in any organization, a leader has to be wielded with so much power. So politics has to do with power related. So among individuals, such as the distribution of resources or status. So now, because this politics didn't just, because they say no man speaks from nowhere. So I'm just speaking from the Greek philosophers, Aristotle and Kant and Hegel and John Locke. So because this is a branch of social science, for those that study social science in the university, you will know about this course, political science. So it's a branch of social science. So that studies politics and government. So it studies politics and government. So that's why it's a social science. So one thing is that you should know it has to do with decision making. Politics has to do with decision making of a particular group or organization. Now, if politics has to do with decision making and decision making of a group or organization, now think of politics in your country or in your state or where you are or in your business or in your firm or in your company. Is there any politics going around? Because each time you hear about politics, one person will think of maybe a form of discussion between few individuals. Politics, no, they are now politicizing over it. It seems sometimes decision can be positive, decision can also be negative. That's one thing I would want to establish here. Since politics has to do with decision making, so sometimes it could be positive. And then the other way around, it could also be negative. But of course, whatever decision you are making, you would always want it to be positive. So before I proceed with this discussion, please, my friends out there, I would want you to just click on the share button. Click on the share button, like, comment, and follow. It's an appeal. Like, comment, and follow. Please, before I proceed with this discussion, it's an appeal. Like, comment, and follow. Please, like, comment, and follow. It's an appeal. It's an appeal. Just do me that favor. And if you are my friends out there and you've not been following me, please, I beg you, follow my page. Follow my page. There is nothing arbitrary to my page. My page is just genuine, as you just see it. It's just me. Please follow my page. Like, comment, and share. Also, write a recommendation to my page. Recommend my page to your friends. Recommend my page to your followers. Recommend my page to everybody you know. Please. We are just here to promote ourselves, promote our culture, promote Africa, and promote the world, and then live together as one family. Have compassion for one another. Now, it may be used positively in the context of a political solution. Positively in the context of a political, when you're making a decision that has to favor few and not many and not infinitesimal few, which is compromising and non-violent. And then I will not go into discussing the issue of non-violence according to Mahatma Gandhi. If you've heard of Mahatma Gandhi of India, how he was able to fight and then bring justice, non-violent fight. So politics has to do with decision making that is positive. Remember, I said initial time that positive can be the decision making can be positive or negative. But in this one, because it has to do with society, remember, political science is a social science. So since it has to do with society, societal value, now it must be positive. It must have to be positive. Now, I will not go into discussing the societal aspect of this politics. You already know that social has to do with society, community, village, where you are, state, nation. And then that politics is a decision. So a decision making that borders on the societal values, the culture of the people. Now, and it must have to be positive and not otherwise. Now, the concept has been defined in various ways by different approaches, and then sometimes it differs. Your own understanding of what politics is might differ from, but there is a standard definition of what politics is all about, which I have just said: decision making. So many persons may say different things of what politics means, just like the blind Hindustans. If you've heard about the blind Hindustans, you know, when they were being presented with a big elephant, the four blind Hindustans, they were being presented with a very large, big elephant. Now, they were to describe the elephant. And they are blind. They don't know, because it was a very huge and big elephant. So now they were to describe this elephant, and each of them were being expected to say this is what is and this is what is not. Now, because they used to hear about elephant, the elephant is very huge. So they are imagining that whatever thing they're going to touch and feel will be something very huge. Now, an elephant was presented to them. Now, one person was asked to go and touch the elephant and describe, the animal. They don't know that it's an elephant. They were just to touch the animal and then describe which animal is that. Then the first person touched the tusk of an elephant. He doesn't know that that's an elephant anyway, but he's to touch and then describe. And then he saw that the tusk was so huge. So he was at that moment imagining, oh, this kind of part of animal that is so big this way, it could be elephant. He named it elephant. The next person was asked to touch the ear, and each of them came out to say that that's an elephant. Each of them came out to say that's an elephant, and that became their answers. So what I'm saying in essence is that sometimes my own opinion may differ from your own opinion. So it's also because the branch is a very large one, a very big one. So I might try to give a brief explanation of what I understand of it. And then while giving your own definition or explanation of what you understand of it, it might also differ from my own because it's so big and broad. It's so big and broad. So now, that's why I just limit myself, because as a branch of social science, it has to do with decision making of a society. And that is why whenever you are discussing something, you must have to restrict yourself to an extent. That's why I've restricted myself to discussing it as Nigerian politics. But I just decided at the same time to give us a resume, a kind of a general background of what politics is all about, for those people that do not yet understand what politics is. Sometimes whenever they hear about politics, whatever comes to their mind is negative, evil. Because of what? Because of the way our politicians have tried to carry themselves in the past. Oh, shout out to my friend and only brother Brother Felix, you are welcome. I welcome you to this discussion.
Thank you very
And
much.
just relax. I'm just giving a general overview of what politics is all about. And I'll have to ask you some questions because you're also a political guru. So you are welcome to this platform, Felix.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Okay, so what's going on? I think I should get
So can you just say hi to our followers out there?
Okay. Hey, hello everyone. My name is Felix Leiter, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Please, thank you for your continuous.
All right. Thank you, Felix. All right. Thank you, Felix. Felix, just feel relaxed. Just relax. Just relax. It seems you are walking on the way up. Just relax. Just relax. And I'm just making a kind of general overview and introduction. So I've just said that politics is etymologically is from Greek words, because the Greeks were the first to start politics, and they gave us a perfect definition of what politics is all about. So politics for them has to do with decision making. And for those that studies political science in university, of course you should know that political science is an aspect of social science. And anything social has to do with society. So it has to do with decision making of a society. So in as much as it has to do with decision making of a society, then it has to be positive. Of course, you know that decision making is of two kinds. It can be positive, it can also be negative. So I said, before I proceed, touch your share button, share. Please touch your share button. Our followers, my fellow discussants, please touch your share button. Like, share. Just like and share, please. Like and share, and then we proceed. So it has to do with decision making. So now, who are those persons to make the decision in the society? Of course, you know, the decision making that has to be positive has to be with something that will impact on the life of the citizens in the society. It must have to be something that will be enormous, something that will impact hugely on the lives of the people, something that will bring a positive change on the lives of the people. And now this automatically brings me to what I discussed earlier on, like I said here shortly before I started this discussion, about how Europe underdeveloped Africa. I discussed it. If you have not watched that video, please go to my YouTube and then watch that video. Go to my YouTube and watch that video. So in as much as politics has to do with something that will bring a positive change to a society or a nation, I think that automatically will make a nation or a society to develop, since it's a decision making. Now, there are bodies that will have to make that decision. Those bodies to make that decisions, we call them politicians. Those bodies to make that decision, we call them politicians. The problem we have today is that most times we ask, who is a politician? Who is a politician? And then I used to tell people that a politician, because no one speaks from nowhere, according to Gadam. No one speaks from nowhere. According to John Locke in his book, a politician is that body or that person. A person, according to Boetius. Boetius is a philosopher and an intellectual person. So according to Boetius, a politician, a person is an individual with rational soul. Just remember this statement I'm making. An individual with a rational soul. So rational so that you can think, you have a thinking faculty, you can think very well and you can think straight. So that's why Boetius said a person is an individual with rational soul. I don't know for Boetius whether there are some persons that are not with rational soul, but for Boetius, that is his definition. So now I'm just trying to employ this. And then John Locke would say that a politician is that person that has that thinking faculty to make a decision of a society. That is a politician. A politician, remember we already said politics has to do with decision making. And then who is a politician? Because oftentimes many persons would always argue and say, oh, politics is a dirty game. Reason being that so many persons, Leonard, you are welcome. Leonard is a political juggernaut. I'm bringing you live, Leonard, so to contribute to this discussion. You can send me a request, let me bring you live. So now, because so many persons shy away from politics, and that automatically is affecting the development of the society and then the nation and then the country, Nigeria. Because for them, politics is a dirty game. Why? Because of the way the persons that are occupying the position of the leaders in the country, they are not doing well. They are not making a positive decision. Remember, politics has to do with decision making. Decision making of what? Of a society. A decision that would bring progress and development to the society. Why are people shying away from this politics? Because those there have already planted bad seed, and then so many other persons are shying away. They say, no, we don't want to be part of these bodies that make negative decisions. But the problem is, if you continue to shy away from this body that make a negative decision, how will you correct impression? You cannot correct impression from a vacuum. You cannot correct impression from a vacuum. You can actually correct impression from where you are. Now, it's only when you get there that you would also, oh, this person, you've not been making a good decision. Why not take it this way? Since you know that what the person is doing not right. So what message I'm passing out there is that politics is not bad. Being called a politician is not bad. But the type of decision you make as a politician is what is bad. Remember, Boyce said a person is an individual soul with a rational soul. So an individual person should be respected. The only time you have to criticize that person, you're not criticizing the person, but what the person says. When you criticize a person, you're already going towards the argumentum ad hominem, attacking the personality of the individual that made the statement. Rather, what you should criticize is the statement of the person. So when you go into attacking a person that made the statement, it is called argumentum ad hominem. And that is why one of the things I'm going to discuss here, I'm not going to attack anybody, but I'm just attacking the statement of the person. Now, and then I'm just saying it for that is me. And then if you think what I will say is bad, you can make your comment and then we'll just try to rationalize over it. Now, what is political party? For you to be a politician, you must belong to a political party. For you to be a politician, you must belong to a political party. A political party is just like a vehicle. That reminds me, each time I try to go live, I always tell people, try to be a vehicle of happiness. Some person will say, what do you mean by being a vehicle? Should you be driving people? Yes, a vehicle, drive joy, drive happiness, not sadness, wherever you are. So politicians, a political party is a vehicle through which politicians get on board and then makes a decision. It's a vehicle through which politicians get on board and make good decisions. Now, a political party also is an organization that coordinates candidates to compete in a particular country's election. That is just it. Like I said, it's a vehicle. It's a means and not an end. But today, some persons see political party as an end to success. How would you be in so and so political party and you think you've arrived? You are there. When you think that way, it means the country is not moving forward. The country is not developing. They are not sticking to the dictates on the mandate of the country's law and regulation. And they are not even following the country's electoral regulations. They are not even following the country's or the state or the nation's political regulations. It's only when they start following these regulations, that is when that political party is moving over, and that is when that country or society will improve and develop. And so that is why, for me, I continue to say that why Africa is retrogressing instead of progressing is because we've not had a good and then well-focused leader that is an individual soul with rationality that thinks straight in order to make a positive impact. Most of the leaders we have, both in the past and present, they're always there to enrich themselves. Not that they're not doing their work. They actually work. Most of them are working. But those people around them, sometimes some of them do have a genuine intention to go there and work and serve. But one thing I don't understand with some of these politicians is that once they get on board into a particular political party, the political party convinces them, because their taste is a vehicle, convince them to become a leader. They make good promises to do this and to do that and to do those ones. And once they get on board, all those things becomes a thing of the past. I used to ask myself, why? Then later on I said, oh, the reason could be because of those people around them, the personal assistants, the advisors, all those people around them could be the ones that dissuade them from impacting on the people. And then that brings me automatically to what we are discussing today, Nigerian politics. Now, and I'll ask somebody, has this decision making been a thing of the past with regard to Nigerian politics? The answer is no. Decision making remains part and parcel of politics. But the problem here is that most of the political leaders we elected to pilot the affairs of the nation, they are not piloting this affair of the nation into a positive side. They are not piloting it to a positive side. They are always thinking of their own personal life. And that's what I could tag egoistic altruism. Egoistic altruism. Most of them, what they want to do, like most of them will call you, say, oh, I want to help you. I want to do this. But that I want to help you, I want to do this to you, or for you, would always have a clause. Mr. This, I want you to do this, I want you to be the minister of this, bet. And now somebody would want to construct a road that he or she knows is damaged and it's not motorable. But because the person passes through that way, either to his hometown or her hometown, or to a maternal hometown or paternal hometown, or to anybody related to him or her, and then he or she wants to construct that road solely because he doesn't want the road to affect his mobile or something of that, he goes to construct it. That is egoistic altruism. Or the only time you remember the less privileged is when you want to vie for a post to become a political leader. That's only when you remember a less privilege. That's when you go to sell corn. That's when you go to schools to see the children in school and to visit them and then to pay their school fees. That is egoistic altruism. And you want to project yourself to the society so that the whole world will see you and say, oh, he or she is doing well. He or she is playing a better role in the society. Let us vote for him or her. Then let us support her because she is doing well already. She is sowing seed. Have you been doing that in the past as a leader? Now, leadership then is not just about leading the society. Leadership will have to start from you. The decision you make about yourself, the decision you make in your family, the decision you make in your school, your classroom. And then all this will have to start, then you cannot take it outside. If you are not able to lead yourself, to make a good decision for yourself, how would you make a good decision for the society? How would you impact on the society if you are being elected? How would you impact on the society? How would the society progress If yourself, you personally, you are retrogressing, how would you improve? How would you improve? That's that's so bad. That brings me to what is currently ongoing in Nigeria. That is why I said we are discussing politics in Nigeria today. Now, next year, please, before we proceed with this, kindly click on the share button, share this live conversation, comment, recommend my page, go to the recommendation section, write something about my page. If it is good, you write it's good and just send. Facebook will approve it. If it's bad, just write. There's nothing arbitrary to our page. We are just presenting a fact the way it is. You can analyze the fact. Most of the discussions we've had here, it's on my YouTube. You can go to YouTube and then you watch it. Later, I'll post my YouTube link is on my profile. You can see it. Scroll down, you see my YouTube link. So that automatically brings me to what is playing on now currently in Nigeria. People vying for a post. We have different candidates in different political parties. Remember, I said a political party is a vehicle that conveys an individual to his or her destination. That destination is to become a leader, to make decisions. Now, each of them belongs to a political party, be it PDP, People's Democratic Party, APC, Grand Alliance Party, and the rest of them, Labour Party. I mean, there are so many different political parties ongoing now in Nigeria, and each of them are vying to become the president of the nation. Now, what you ask of those persons vying to become now, back are the days when somebody would just wake up because he once served as a military personnel, or he or she once served as economic personnel, says, no, I want to become a leader. It's my position. I want to take it. I have served Nigeria, so I don't just understand. Like in the Roman Catholic Church, Pope John Paul II once said something. He said, I'm being elected as the Pope. I'm being elected as the Pope of this noble institution, church, Catholic Church. Not just people to follow me. I'm a servant. He said, I'm a servant. Yes, I'm the leader. But a leader is called to serve. And that is why it's called decision making. Politician, a person that makes decision to a society. Now, he said, yes, I'm being elected as the Pope, and the people call me His Holiness. But that doesn't mean people should always bow down to me, and then I'm a servant, and then he called himself Severum Dei. Severum Dei. Servants of the servants of God. He said he is serving those that are serving God. That's what he said. He is serving those that are serving God. And then for him, that is humility. But when you come to politics, you see that politician, president, governor, senators, local government chairman, councillors, and the chiefs, they all want to be served. Now, if you want to be served, how can you make a decision? You always pose yourself to be the God. How would you serve the society for which you are elected to serve? How are you going? How is it possible that you will humble yourself to accept when criticism comes in? Now, in Nigeria, we have different candidates vying for the post of president. And then what we are trying to do is to analyze the competency of those persons, those individuals. Remember I said, according to Boetius, that a person is an individual so with rationality. Now, how are you trying to classify these individuals that are vying for the office of presidency in Nigeria? How competent are they? Do they have what it takes to become the leader? Do they have what it takes to make a right decision? Do they have what it takes to withstand any form of criticism, whether constructive or destructive criticism? And one thing I used to tell people is that whenever you are being criticized of a particular thing, look inwardly of yourself. What people say might not be true. Live your normal life. Try to do good. And then flashback, look where you've not gotten it right. Improve. Improve on it, and then try to get on with it. Do the right thing. You know why you are being elected. But my utmost surprise is that sometimes most of the leaders being elected, they only know, but they don't know how to do. Knowledge has to do with two things: knowledge, epistemology. It has to do learning how to know and learning how to do. That is knowledge. Epistemology, it's a Greek word, episteme, knowledge, the study of knowledge. It has two forms, two characters, even more than that, but these two I single out personally. Learning how to know and learning how to do. Some of them only learn how to know, and that is learning how to play politics. And that is why so many persons see politics as something evil. Because what they present and project to people outside there is that they have only learned how to know. And that's when they will come up and deceive you. They'll make fake promises. Robert Greene, in his book, Art of Seduction, the man that wrote 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene, he wrote 48 Laws of Power. In his book, Art of Seduction, said something. They will just come and paint words, tell you all sorts of things, make you fake promises, and then you believe them. But you forget that what they just told you is what they know and not what they do. So knowledge has to do with learning how to know and learning how to do. Some of them that vies to become the president of Nigeria, they only know, but they don't know how to do. And that is why whenever they are being elected as a leader, as a president, they mess up. They mess up. They are just there. Things will be going wrong. Okay, can you imagine a president of a nation that has to do with a person of rational soul that's supposed to make a positive decision for the nation or the country, goes out to another country for medical checkup? Then what sort of idea are you projecting to people outside? Are you telling them that your country is good enough? Your country is good enough not to have a well-equipped hospital to take care of your health. Or you don't have qualified doctors. Now you're telling the world, your people outside there, that you do not have a well-equipped, no, that you are proud enough to tell the world that you do not have a well-equipped schools to train the medical doctors. What idea are you passing across? And that is why I've just said we shall be taking out our time to analyze most of these candidates to see how competent and to see who we are voting for in the next coming election. So that if we are voting Mr. B, we know that we are not voting Mr. B because he is from Niger Delta, or not that he is from Ogun State, or not that he is from Anambra, or not that he is from Kano, or not that he is from this, but we are voting competency. And I continue to say it, and I will say it even before I end this session. Election is around the corner. Know who you're voting. Vote according to your conscience. Do not sell your vote. Once you sell your vote, you are selling your soul. Let's vote for posterity. Let's vote for tomorrow. So now that brings me in, my friend and brother Felix. So having heard the discussion and then the opening speech, please, what would you have to say about politician, and then political party?
Well, basically, you've said everything that there is to say. So I won't waste more time on it. Now, like you said earlier, politics are seen by some person that it's a dirty game, but I want to believe that I share your views, and also that it's not somehow a dirty game, but it's actually a good tool for economic and social development. Now, while you were talking, I was thinking that now, what would be the nexus between uh, politics and decision making in Nigeria? So, what I want to say is that I believe that politics is a good tool, but the way the leaders in Nigeria and in somehow the whole political parties in Nigeria, the way that they have turned out to be, it's really, really alarming because there are so many factors um, to be considered. There is nepotism and favoritism and there is godfatherism involved in all of these parties. So I think politics is a good thing. It is a social tool for for the economy, but the decision making by the political parties have really turned out worse. That's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, like I'm saying currently, Blessing Eko Mafe, you are welcome.
Blessing,
Watching us.
a coma fair. Blessing, welcome.
So now the politics in Nigeria. What would you say? What is your take on the politics in Nigeria currently? And then with regard to the forthcoming election, what's your take on it?
Politics in Nigeria. Well, I would now. This is basically mine, and mine opinion. So and basically, I want to say before I say anything else, I'll say this now. He who says he can and he who says he can't, they are both right. So now, politics in Nigeria over the years from 1960 has really been disappointing because considering the fact that at a certain point in time, a dollar to the naira were equal, but right now the an adverse reverse is the case. So now speaking from the economic point of view, it is really disheartening. So now as regards to the 2023 election, I, 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 I really do hope that some some defects should be corrected. But as far as I'm concerned, politics in Nigeria is a disgrace. To me, it's a disgrace because these so-called leaders have have turned something that would have been so beneficial into rags. So that is what I think. That is what I think.
Okay, that's very good. Now, with regard to the ongoing campaign, so many political candidates um, have been going about and then campaigning for the forthcoming election and seeking for attention and then visiting different institutions from school to church to organizations, like seeking for attention so that they will be recognized and then somehow be given the chance to become the leader and then lead. So now, what would you have to say? Because recently, one of them was invited to town hall meeting, and then he rejected that call. He ignored the call. He never showed up. And oftentimes, he has been invited, some of them have been invited for a speech openly, and then most of them ignored. Now, do you think such ignore and such declining is a mark of being competent to lead Nigeria and then to carry Nigeria forward?
Sorry, would you like to rephrase the question again for me? Just rephrase it because it's somehow funny. Just what's the question again?
Okay, now most of the most of the most of the political candidates are out there going about different institutions looking for people, to gain attention, to gain attention. But
Okay.
at the same time, when they are being invited to a town hall meeting, maybe a kind of discussion like this, so that they will be asked, what are you going to do for the people? What are you going to do if you are being elected? They will reject that call. They wouldn't attend the call. So does this show that they are competent to lead as they are vying for a post of leadership?
Obviously, that is a red flag, and as far as I'm concerned, it means that you are incompetent to lead, and you shouldn't be given a chance. As far as I'm concerned, now, like I said, for all purposes, this is just me and my opinion and what I think. Because if you really want to do something and your heart is out there, if you're being given a chance to showcase what you want to do, you should really take it up. Now, I was researching and I saw that around Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been invited by several media houses, to come over and do some interviews, but he turned most of them down. Now, I got to further know that he said that he didn't want the media to be making money out of him, and he went down to the Chatham House to say all this, that he doesn't want the media to be making money out of him, and that's why he's shunning the media, because he doesn't want them to make money out of him. And I think that is just very, very disturbing for a presidential aspirant to go out before the whole world and say that his country's press are extortionists and everything. And it's somehow ironical because I think he actually owns a media house. So it's really, really something else. I believe that if you want to do something, if you have the people in your heart, if you have the people, if you have their best interest, that you want to do something for them, when you're being given the opportunity, the platform, the stage, to talk about what you want to do, I think everybody and any rational person, like you said, who is sound, would definitely want to take that chance. Except, of course, you have some skeletons in your cupboard. That's when you would avoid not taking that chance. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a red flag, and people should watch out for that, because it somehow shows that you really do not care, and even if certain things are said about you in the media, I think that there would be a slim chance, or a slim linkage between that kind of behavior and like a little slim chance of being a dictator and that kind of attitude. I think so. Honestly, I do think so. So that's a red flag, and that's a no-no for me.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's also a no for me. It's also a no for me. That's my opinion. You may have your own opinion out there, but that's my own opinion. Now you are a job seeker. You are a job seeker. You want to submit your form. You go about to submit your form to be applied to for a particular job or in a company or anywhere. And then when you are being called for an interview, you reject the interview, and then you still want the person to employ you. How does it sound? Is it rational? It's not rational for me, and I think it's a no for me. Any candidate that doesn't want to show up for an interview shouldn't be elected. Is not qualified, is not competent enough. That person doesn't believe in him or her. That person is not true to himself or herself. That person should be jettisoned from the political party, should be thrown away. For me, like you submitted a form. You want to be employed to work in a particular firm. Now you want to become a leader of that particular firm, and you are submitting your form to the people. And then you are being invited for an interview. You said, no, you don't want to attend an interview, but give me the work. Who does that? It means the firm doesn't want to grow. And that is why such candidates should be put down. You shouldn't be allowed to contest at all. For at least giving such flimsy excuses, saying doesn't want the media to make money. Who says the media is making money through you? You are being invited for an interview.
He owns a TV house and a national newspaper. Now, if you say you do not want the media to give the wrong impression about you or make money off you and everything, is that not the more reason why you should go to the media house, go on air and clear out every cobwebs and clear out everything, sort out every issues that the media company thinks. If they think if they think that you are shaggy, you are this, you are that, you go on there and you clear the air with them. You make them see reasons to say, hey, I'm okay, I'm straight, I ain't going through corners, I ain't doing those illegal things and whatsoever. But you can't just say that. The most annoying thing is that he went to the Chatham House, a place where business moguls and different, political, both presidential aspirators or persons have gone, to defend their manifestos and everything. You went there before the whole world and you were shaming the media houses in Nigeria, saying you don't want them to extort money out of you or out of your campaign. That is what a presidential candidate made clear to the very whole world. Because that's the meaning. If you say that you don't want them to make money out of you, what are you trying to say? What image?
That's a beautiful nonsense. That's a beautiful nonsense.
Exactly my point. So what are you trying to make? It doesn't make sense. Listen, someone was saying something here, Gloria Felix, my wife. She said that is them showing their incompetence because they are not interested in what the masses want or what they can do for them. They just want to gain power, money, and everything they can take. Exactly what you were saying. You want the job. You don't want to show for the interview, but you just want the job at all costs.
Good. That's why I said, why Africa is not moving forward, not progressing. It's just because our leaders only think of themselves. They only think of themselves. They don't think about the masses. But this is the time to get it right. So please, to my friends out there, please share this video. Share it to your timeline. Encourage your people to follow this discussion. We want our people to think right. Now you want to vote. Vote competency. Vote competency. Don't vote incompetent. Don't vote for people that want to come and loot. Like I tell you, Now, check the history of General Sani Abacha once he was the president of Nigeria. Till today, the country is still recovering the money General Sani Abacha looted to foreign countries. Sweden, England,
the UK,
America, and so many countries. They're still bringing money in $billion that he looted to so many foreign countries. And this is someone that is meant to serve the nation. And then this is the man that came and then want the nation's wealth to obey him. And then he looted everything and took it to the foreign land. Instead of using the money to develop the country, he used the money to develop. Why would Africa progress if what you have, you're not using it to make the people around you comfortable? You take it outside the country. How would the country progress?
Of course, they can never progress. Now, I think his wife came out and said, even if they are poor, they can never be poor as Dangote. Now, one thing that I find funny, really
Dangote,
funny.
Dangote, you know, is one of the African richest man. I think he's the African richest man, Dangote. And the family is saying, even if they are poor, they will never be poor as the African richest man.
Yeah. This guy stashed money in foreign reserves. Abacha, I think that even where he stashed this money, there are still more scattered all over the world, the UK, the US, and everything. Now, I think Putin said something. He said, Africa is just a burial ground.
Let me tell you something. I was in Abuja. Abuja last year. I was in Abuja last year at Nyanya precisely. When you get to Nyanya before Maraba, Abacha has a lodge. I mean, a very big lodge where he built for himself and secure. So government, that was where the terrorists first attacked at Nyanya. So now they want to excavate the place and make it livable to people. Now, as they were digging the people, I said I saw this live. You don't need. It's not something that somebody sent on phone or I was there, because as they were digging, a container, a container that was buried underneath, because they were using an excavator to dig out, and because when the bomb landed, so many persons died. And then, Abacha is a cunning man. He had this, he's a soldier, he was a soldier. So he built a tunnel that crossed main road. In case if there is any problem, he can through that tunnel escape. So beneath that tunnel was this container, a container that is filled up with Nigerian currency.
Now,
container that is filled up with Nigerian currency. And that currency, is not of a small denominations. It's of big denominations. And these are the type of persons we are being elected as a leader to lead the nation. How would that nation progress?
Of course, Abacha's own self was even quite different. I think it was through a military rule. But like what I was saying now, coming to your point now, I'll touch on it a little bit. Now, the president of Russia said that Africa is just one big giant cemetery. You get, and that's why they will never ever be developed. And why did he say this? Now, he basically said this because when an African man, when an African gets wealthy, when he gets money, what does he do? He goes to the US, buys a house. He goes to South Africa. He goes to the Bahamas. He goes there. He goes to New York, gets condos, gets property. Now, you are stashing money in foreign reserves of another country. Now, if you take if you change $1 and you take it out of Nigeria, it affects the GDP, right? So now you take money from the economy, money that you're used to money that you are supposed to use, to develop
Yes,
the
of
economy,
course.
talking of social economic infrastructures and the development, building of parks, roads, train, and everything, refineries, provide, more employment and jobs and job creation. Now you take that money, you take it out there. When an African gets wealthy, what he does, he gets to the US, gets a house, goes to Canada, goes to France, love, Italy, and everything. But when they die, where do they come back to? They bring their bodies back to the country to be buried. Now, our leaders, the most annoying thing is that our leaders take up money and stash it in foreign reserves. They keep it there. Why? Your country is wallowing in abject poverty. Now, what is poverty? Now, in economics, poverty can be defined as not being able to afford a dollar. So if you don't have up to 500, let's say 1 naira to a dollar is 500. So if you don't have 500, you're poor. Now, your country is wallowing in abject poverty. There is corruption at every level. But they don't care. They take the money, they stash it up in foreign reserves, and they keep it there. So it all boils down to the fact of what's your mission statement? Like in the heart of your heart, what's your mission statement? What do you really want to do? Are you really there to serve, or it's because it's your turn? You've waited for it, it's your turn. Which of them? Because you can't tell me that they don't know what they're doing. Now, you will go to a house and you will see several storage water tank, and they will tell you that this one is just there are only two functional tanks there. The rest are reserved. That's a very, very big fat lie. My bro, check those tanks. They are loaded with cash, waddles of cash. They are right there. Look at this woman, the former minister of petroleum. Do you know what that woman stole? I'm even sure that the economy has not even recovered from it. People are stealing billions, billions, billions every day. There is no repercussion. There is no reparation. Nothing. People just go scot-free. Now, I think I saw something, and I can never, ever forget this guy that always wears a white brocade. I saw it on the Vanguard newspaper. He was a former speaker of the House. He's always on white. Dimitri Bankole. He came out and said that and said that. Let me rephrase, up paraphrase. He said that he can steal and nothing will happen to him. And bro, nothing really happened. It's all is always the man
Yes,
in the white
because the
brocade.
country is a lawless country.
Of course, obviously, it's a lawless country. Anything goes. Anything goes.
Because the leaders, the politicians, you see why people see politics as evil? Because the politicians always see themselves as God. I mean,
Of course.
they are above the law.
They are the
They are above the
airlight.
law.
So
And then I won't forget what a particular law says. Say, an ignorance of the law is not an excuse. When you think you don't know what the law says, doesn't mean you run away from the law when it comes down on you. That's just the problem. Now, what you just said now actually brings me to one of the issues I would like us to discuss here. Now, one of the politicians went about during the campaign excursus. No, he was going about seeking for attention. Was telling people that he built Lagos State, and then he established this one, he established this one, and this one, and this one. And because of that, he should be given the chance to become the leader. So should being a leader be on merit, or because of what the person has done in the past?
Well, there's a saying in Nigeria that I get on before, not be property. But but at the same time, at the same time, you do have to look at the resume of a person, what he or she did while he or she was in power, what he or she did not do while they were in power. And considering the fact that people change, you get my point. So I think I'll be on the fence on this one. I'll be on the fence on this one because you are being given a job based on what you had in school. What was your grade in school? It's in the past. You get now. So you are being given a job by your experience, what you do and everything. But where I'm sticking the straw is people change. And if Tinubu is claiming that he did a lot for Lagos, he built Lagos State, that is a planted fat lie. Do your homework, do your assignments, research on it, Google it, you will see that he sucked Lagos. Tinubu, as he is right now, gets a percentage from the budget of Lagos. He gets a percentage. He actually sucked Lagos. He made thugs. He weaponized thugs. He gave them power, legal power. So he actually dealt with Lagos. He didn't do a fine job. He didn't do nothing for Lagos. Check about it. Google it. Ask questions. So people who were around, who were already matured around the time that he was governor of Lagos, and they would tell you firsthand what they went through, the ordeal that they went through. He didn't do shit for Lagos. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So, in a nutshell, like I said before the whole stories, I'll be on the fence because you need to see what the person has done in the past, in order to ascertain where or the direction that you'll be going to. But I think that it shouldn't be on merit. It has to be the choice of the people. But I would like to be on the fence here.
All right. All right. All right. Wow. Thank you very much for that quick response. I like the way you just answered the question. Thank you very much. You? Now, I want to quickly make a rejoint question. Okay. Like, I was of the opinion, like, personally, when he made mention that he built Lagos State, I laughed. That's one of the political leaders, Tinubu by name. Okay. When he said he built Lagos State, I laughed. Why did I laugh? Because I said in 1972, no, not even 1878, 94 till 1990 to 1950, before Nigeria got independent in 1960. The British government were in Nigeria, and where we are then settling, their settlement was in Lagos.
In Lagos, obviously.
And then they already made Lagos what it is today. They already made Lagos a city. And then somebody was in power when they were there. And even when they left and handed over the power to Nigeria, somebody who took over the power and was leading and already made Lagos a city. And remember, Lagos was the capital of Nigeria. So Lagos was already doing very well. So why would you just come in power after 8 years? You said you built Lagos and established Lagos. Anyway, I already criticized that. I already said that's a blatant lie. If that should be the reason why you are vying for the office of presidency you want to lead, that shows that you're not competent at all. You're not presenting something genuine, because you're presenting something that everyone knows that is false and lie.
Of
So you
course.
see Lagos that is quite congested. How were you able to decongest Lagos State if you think you created Lagos and then you made Lagos what it is? How were you able to decongest Lagos? Lagos that is quite congested today. And you said you built Lagos, you made Lagos what it is today. So that one is a blatant lie. Anyone that is trying to vote a leader just because, or Tinubu because of what he said, that he built Lagos State, I think that is false. And I think that is just a deception. So I feel that nobody should buy that decision. But what I'm saying here is that he said he built Lagos State. And people said, okay, now you built Lagos State. Come and tell us how you built Lagos State. How were you able to build Lagos State? And what do you intend to do to the country? Now you were given a chance to rule Lagos, and this is how you made Lagos to be. You made Lagos a city. Now come and tell us how you are going to make Nigeria a city. How you are going to make Nigeria the giant of Africa again.
It's going to be
Nigeria
a
was once the giant of
continent,
Africa.
of
That
course.
giant of Africa is gone. Now come and tell us how you are going to make Nigeria a giant of Africa from the oil theft. Remember, they argued that they don't know that people steal the Nigerian oil, which is also a blatant lie. How will the people come all the way from the sea, where you have the navy, where you have the soldiers, where you have everything, you have the satellite, to come and steal oil, and then you don't know?
These
It
people
beats your
tell
knowledge.
lies
That is a
every
blatant
day.
force. Now,
It's
come and tell us what you're going to do on the issue of security, on the issue of economy, and then at some point, you decline the interview. At some point, when you finally appear for the interview, you delegate most of the questions to people. Then I said, this is unfair for me. It's a mark of irresponsibility. It's a mark of incompetency. When you're being asked a question, you have been invited at the initial time, you ran away. Second time you came, you have been asked, you delegated some persons. Does this show you are competent enough? Does this show that what you have projected, what you have said to the people that you built a city is true? So for me, I said such individuals shouldn't be given opportunity. So what's your take? Now, one of the candidates by name Tinubu was invited to Chatham House, I think last week, for an interview. Then he approached. Then when he was asked so many questions, he never answered any of them. He didn't even attend any of them. Rather, he delegated most of those questions. So please, just can you say one or two things with regard to this delegation, and then so that we can close this chapter. Thank you very much.
okay. Basically, is a town hall different from blah 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 blah. But I'm sorry about that. But uh, me me personally, I do not believe uh that if you ask me a question, another person should answer. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Now, this man Biodun Ajiboye, an assistant director media directorate, he said that last Tuesday he claimed that what Tinubu did was an innovative an innovative dimension to leadership in Nigeria. But what I would want him to remember is that is that this same man, this same man that is delegating questions to be answered by his team, his aides, Nigerians are seeking to evaluate this one man. They are not seeking to evaluate the aides or the help or the members of his team, because in some few short nights or months, those members of his team, they will not be the ones to be called Mr. President or the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. No, they will not be. But this one man will be. So these Nigerians, these people, these citizens are seeking to evaluate this man. What are you bringing to the table? So as far as I'm concerned, that wasn't the time to show leadership galore, or leadership, being a leadership guru, or being a team player, or delegating authority. No, none whatsoever. That was a time for you to come out, take the podium, and say your manifesto, say what you wanted to bring to the table, say what you would give to the citizens if you are elected to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But at that point, I think he missed out on on the most important factor of what he was supposed to do, because now even none of Tinubu's responders, none of those people that helped him answer the questions were specialists in in all the areas that they spoke about. They were not specialists in those areas they spoke about. Now, looking at me saying that that Nigerians wanted to evaluate this person. Now we're talking about mentally, physically, medically, and all the wise. Now, if you look at the man physically, you will see that there is definitely something wrong. I'm just saying my opinion, for all purposes, for all whatsoever,
All right.
legal whatsoever, for all purposes. That's my
All right.
opinion,
All
and
right.
I think
All right.
you're welcome
All
to
right.
take that way.
Because of want of time, we want to wrap up this section, and then we shall be here next time on this platform to discuss politics as had to do with development, and we shall be here to discuss something that bothers us as an African, and then as general in the world. So we continue to say to people outside there, and especially to Nigerians, election is around the corner. Vote competency. I'm not telling you to vote Peter Obi or to vote Atiku or to vote Asiwaju or to vote anybody. I'm not saying that. But what I continue to say and tell people is never give up. Don't allow anybody to dissuade you. Be obedient. Be obedient. I've not said vote for Peter Obi or vote for Atiku or vote for Asiwaju, but I just said be
Just be
obedient.
obedient.
When they say get your PVC, get your PVC.
At your previously.
Go out and vote. Go out and vote.
Don't sell your
Vote for your
vote. Don't sell
conscience.
your vote.
Vote for your vote for posterity. That is being obedient. Vote competency. Vote competency. Now, vote someone that will take the nation to a different level. Vote for the person that is physically sound, psychologically sound, emotionally sound, medically fit, and intellectually sound to lead the nation, so that we could see a different dimension of the country, and then so that Nigeria would be a better place and would reclaim its name as Giant of Africa. Thank you very much as you listen to us. Thank you very much as you continue to share this live session. Thank you very much as you continue to like, comment, and share. Thank you very much for following me and listening to us. We've just shared our opinion. I know, sometimes I used to say it, opinions, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinions. That doesn't mean that there are no opinions that are superior to each other. You may have your own opinion, and it might be superior than our own. Share your opinion with us, send it on the comment section. We'll see it, we'll like, and then we'll comment on it. Thank you very much for following us. And then please, if you have not been following us, follow us. Like, comment, and share. Write a recommendation for my page. Thank you, and God bless you. Do have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.